What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about Kyle Trask, quarterback out of Florida. Right away, he's not necessarily the most athletic quarterback in the world. He's not necessarily a complete statue either, but he is mostly a pocket quarterback. But he's not a statue. He can scramble around, get you some, buy you a little bit of time. You know, he's not afraid to take off and run if need be. But for the most part, he is a pocket passer. And he's actually pretty solid. I mean, he's not great, at least not yet. I think he has a lot of potential to develop. One thing I like is that Florida does allow him to read the whole field. That's something that not every college team does. A lot of college coaches really hold their quarterback's hand. They'll be like, well, this is the guy you're going to throw to on this play. Next play, you're throwing to that guy specifically, but not necessarily the case with him. They really let Kyle Trask really survey the field and find the best option. So that's going to be good because you are going to be asked to do that in the NFL, and he has experience doing those things. So good up on that one. One thing I actually seen that I haven't seen in a while, looking at some of these players, is he's actually pretty decent at leading people off with his eyes. Like, that's not something you see in a lot of college quarterbacks. It's usually something that people develop in the league. But he does understand looking at the safety and looking him off with his eyes before he makes a throw. He doesn't always stare down the receiver. He does stare down the receiver sometimes. Don't get it twisted. And he needs to get a little bit more consistent with that. But he does show that he understands the need to do that. He just needs to get more consistent with it. Footwork is actually pretty damn fantastic. He doesn't seem to click his heels too much. Like, overall, his footwork and overall his mechanics are pretty solid. Yeah, overall, like, he doesn't really have much to improve there. I think his floor is actually pretty good. I think he can come in and be decent for you right now. I'm not sure how high his ceiling is, but his floor seems to be pretty high. At least to me. Let's see. One thing I did notice is that he does seem to hesitate sometimes. His decision making overall can be kind of inconsistent. But for the most part, it's not bad. But the big thing is he does seem to hesitate sometimes. Especially with, like, timing routes. Like, he'll be surveying the field, he'll see it, but it'll take him a second longer than it probably should for him to get that ball out of his hand, and that's going to cause problems in the NFL. People don't stay open for very long, and you're going to get your receivers fucking laid out by hesitating. So that's something I want to see him clean up as well. His decision-making as a whole just needs to improve, but those are things that are going to come in time. His arm strength is pretty solid. It's not like anything like Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, anything crazy like that. But he has enough arm strength to get the job done. But one thing I will say is he does sometimes mistake the type of throw that's needed on that pass. He does show that he can throw a bullet and he can throw with touch. He can throw back shoulder. But sometimes recognizing the type of throw needed is a little inconsistent. So, like, I've seen him throw it kind of flat, like throw it like a bullet in a situation when he needs to arc it over a receiver. Or sometimes he'll throw it with touch when he needs to throw a bullet because it's a tight window. He needs it to get there quickly. So he just needs to shore some of those things up a little bit. I think he can come in and play right away, but I think the best situation for him is to sit for a little bit. Continue to work on some of these things. He hasn't been a starter for very long. He's been a backup most of his career. Just continue to get under a decent quarterback coach and just continue to develop these skills. Because he's got a good skill set right now. He really does. His accuracy is actually pretty decent. It's not amazing, but it's solid. His arm strength's solid. He's got some mobility to him. Like, overall, I think he's a pretty good player. We just kind of have to see exactly what happens with him. I hope he gets into the right situation. Good system, you know, good situation around him. But overall, I think he can be a pretty good prospect for you. I think he can be a steal. But yeah, anyway, I think that's pretty much going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I appreciate you hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.